Shalom, family. Glory be to God, and blessed be the Lamb. I hope, I hope the time finds you at peace. Just jump right into it. You know, it's been an interesting weekend. We have Bill Gates saying that the work and the influence of the Antichrist is already on the world stage. To wit, the Black Israelites are under threat. Then we have one of the other richest men in the world saying that Black Jesus said America is going to collapse. But before we get to those two, let's do a little preliminary matter. What is it that you want? You seem to forget that we're at war all around you. I've been saying this since 2015, but no one would listen. They just kept living their lives and playing their hand, whatever was advantageous to them in any given moment in time. A mere snapshot. A mere snapshot. That's not the point. What is it that you want? Do you fear being attacked personally? Now that you understand what you are really up against. Is that what you fear? You know, it seems like that whole concept of fear is rendered through position in one's life. It seems like whoever is able to cause fear as a victim. It doesn't matter if the person is poor, rich, black, white, or the gender, or the class, or anything else. It is the imposition of fear by power. Even if it is only temporary. It's one of the sad states of fact about mankind's experience, that is imposition of fear. However, I've also found that when it's time to be scared, even the biggest fear mongers will actually bow down to the same fear as it is now. As it is now. But let me ask you something, since you refuse to answer me, as to what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? The situation is what it is. It is what it is. And what's sad, there's been, if we go by the evidence, your idea, while you worry about being attacked or victimized, however you want to call it, you seem hell bent on maintaining the very status quo that got us here. So what do you want? Actually, you sound like man. Listen, I'm not gonna asperse you. So what is it that you want? You're the strange one. You know what? There is no secret about me. There is no secret about me. I'm gonna be the same tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the day after and the day after and the day before that one. What you see is what you get. I will always be only that. But that's not what we're dealing with when we're dealing with you. And I'm getting too far in the weeds. So let's come back out of the weeds. What is it that you want? To not be attacked while at the same time benefiting off a very status quo that has caused harm to others? While I mind you, helping to maintain it in some instances. The very same status quo that has harmed others, you seek to protect. What I would want to think is not due to any type of patriotism. It's due to selfishness. You don't want to lose this. You don't want this known about that. But who is really responsible? So let me ask you this. What should happen? You to just be let off the hook and act like it's not there? Act like it's not there. But see, that would be doable, except that it keeps happening. Right now, there's someone threatening a office run in northeast of the United States. Okay? Already has been. But just that fast, both him and the world and the media have forgot that he was accused of all kinds of sexual misconduct. But as usual, if you're not the right color, then you don't have to worry about it. But the point I'm trying to make is here it is again, the same people always in government, as if it's a career. And for them, it is. They don't give one rat's ass about helping you. And never did. It's just been over the last 10, 12 years or 15 years, it seems to have gotten worse. It seems to have gotten worse. Anyway, moving ahead. Mr. Gates' proclamation that the Black Israelites are under threat from the Antichrist. Well, we really don't know of a time when that has not been. I mean, this dude has been after us a long time. We can't think of too much more he can possibly do, except wanton murder throughout the planet upon anything with melanated skin. There's pretty much not anything left. If you name it, it's already been done. And we already survived it. But why would Mr. Gates be saying such a thing? Well, first of all, he is acknowledging that there is such a thing as a Black Israelite, except he's only half right. It's not his fault. But by saying Black Israelite out of his, and I don't mean to be insulting, his non-Black mouth, it would intone that there is a white Israelite. And there's not. There's no white Israelite. He gets it now. It doesn't take long. And it seems to me that the entire world is waking up. We have been effective. You know what happened? It's like I said 2 years ago, we were spread like a virus, worse than COVID. Spread like a virus. No religion or no relief or no belief system have been safe. They're all on the ground, crawling across the battlefield, carrying their wounds. Carrying their rooms. Even, I'm going to go out on a limb. There are those in Islam who have found a way to maintain their core belief while seeing the reality of what is. It's a new opening in their understanding of things. Jesus was never God's partner. God sits upon a throne. Jesus be doing his own thing, like right now. And as far as the threat by the Antichrist again, he's not going to be very threatening. I mean, here's what things are going to get real. It's going to get real when there's nowhere left to hide. It's going to get real when there's nowhere left to go. And as the ranks of the believers swell and swell and swell, pushing them further and further apart from each other, then he will have no choice, neither him or his minions, but to wage physical battle. And this is where it all ends. He's been outmaneuvered. He's been outplayed. He's been outthought. He's been outthought. The problem is with Satan, he's been around mankind so long that he sort of thinks like a man sometimes. So there are gaps in his plan, not like ours. We don't leave gaps. We leave nothing up to chance. There are no gaps. If we can't control it, all of it, then we won't be even attempting to control any of it. That's how it is. That's how it is. New rules. That's all. That's all. So we're not threatened. No, in this world, everything is in reverse. It is him and his believers who are threatened. We're not the ones going around chanting and working seances, burning candles and cutting goats' necks and chicken necks and shit. No, working rituals under the full moon. We don't do none of that shit. We just have an overwhelmingly huge dose of we don't give a fuck. Let's do this thing. We don't even think like he think anymore. He's learned how to think like a man, largely because he attempts to manipulate man and does a damn good job of it too. The difference is now we're here and we see them. And they know we see them. What's really happening here is we're going to try to straighten some things out. There's a war being waged against an infestation. We're going to keep that word right there. I started to switch it up. Against an infestation from the spiritual realm as put forth by Satan and influenced by demons. The spiritual world and what lives inside of that, as far as we're concerned, was just a good hiding spot for them. They are of no real concern because there's nothing that any of that ragtag group of beings that I just named that comes even remotely close to a threat, neither as an individual or as a collective. We don't care. See, others, they would care. They would see that as mighty, but we don't care. It's like whatever. See, you have to understand something. You have to understand something. Everybody has something to fight for. They say they don't. But most men, they got something to fight for. They just don't know it yet. They just don't know it yet. See, some men fight for cause, a reason. Other men will fight for money. Hell, I've known men to fight and harm each other and get paid in dope. I'm just saying. But the devil doesn't fight for such things. The devil isn't waging war because he wants to wage war, you see. The devil is in defense mode. The devil knew it was over the minute that we infiltrated his world. And it's very well infiltrated. And like I told you then, and him, that I was just the tip of the sword. And now everybody here. So it was seized. Or so it was seen. But the devil doesn't fight for cause. He don't fight for glory. He don't fight for a belief. He doesn't fight to rule the world. No, 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 no. The devil fights for survival. Survival. Let me break that down to you just a little bit, what I mean by survival. The devil understands that no matter what he does or what he says, still off with his head. You see, no matter what he does, what he says, as things currently stand, that can change the fact that if we get our hands on him, well, he's not going to have a head, at least not on his shoulders. Okay? He understands that part very well. So understand his motivation. It ain't because he want to fight. Trust me, he didn't bring forth a bunch of fighters. He got ahead of himself. In fact, he made sure, man, the devil always get himself in trouble. He made sure he brought forth a bunch of non-fighters and that they would never stand up against him. See? So now he would need, seems to me, he would need the very thing that was taken from them to even stand a chance or make a choice to fight physically or violently or any other way on his behalf. In other words, he shot his own self in the foot. Now, didn't he? But that's okay, too. That's okay. What I'm trying to say is this. Number one, we are who we are, meaning the Black diaspora at large and FBAs in America. We simply are who we are. You wouldn't believe I had to find y'all ass. You niggas was crazy. Whew. But we found you. And you is crazy. That's besides the point. After 5,000 years of what you've been through, I would be shocked if you wasn't a little crazy. Actually. And this awakening is going to change the entire world. Banking systems are going to fall. Countries are going to fall. Structures and leadership positions are going to fall. Everything that the combination of the devil and mankind will no longer exist, at least not as you know it, one way or the other. The choice is theirs, but the devil already knows that we would just as soon choose the other. We would just as soon go to war rather than to compromise or to negotiate. He understands that too. Because that's not what we're here for. They were saying, in the evil one was screaming into microphones in 2020, screaming that the world is ours and they're coming back to take it. And I'm like, well, take it from what? And from who? Who owns the world? What you know there, we don't know. Because, on any given moment, I'm standing on about 2 feet by 2 feet of land. And at the end of the day, you can blow up everything else around me as long as that little piece of scratch goes, as long as it goes unharmed. I'm good. You'll all grow back as far as I'm concerned. So This will have grave consequences for world powers. It has already begun. It has already begun. And there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. Looking for the world is a good thing, and not one based in evil. Now, back to this Antichrist character. He sure is taking his time, huh? This ain't gonna be, I can tell this not gonna be no roll out by red carpet and flashing lights and horns on his head and a black cape or some shit. No, this dude acts like one who is Antichrist because he has to be. See, you have to understand something. All this talk and all this planning was done without the knowledge of exactly when we're coming. You also have to understand that God sped things up. God sped things up. So no one really knows what time it is or what year, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Okay? The point I'm making is the plan didn't work. It didn't work. And now he's been outmaneuvered into a corner. There's nowhere else to go with this. He's looking slap dap at reality. The first time in a very long time. At reality. He's seeing the knowledge that he is an expert of experts at, come true. And even though he understood that this day would eventually come, it was done anyway. It was done anyway. But it's the way of America. That is the way of America. And now, what has it led to? One half of the country hate the other half. And quite frankly, again, we won. We looking good. I think that we have robbed everybody. What religion haven't we stolen membership from? We stole membership from the Baptists, membership from the from the Catholics, membership from the Hindu, membership from the Buddhists. We just been robbing everybody. Who got away? We robbed them in plain daylight, in plain sunshine. That's why I say it. Once we had challenged everybody's God, and nobody's God showed up to defend itself, and we understood that if it doesn't defend itself, then that only leaves you to defend it. And you didn't defend it either. You didn't defend it either. So we win. We win. Not by default, not by proxy. We outright win. Even now, according to the evidence, we only await the Antichrist. And he seems to be taking his time. So you give his ass a message. We don't want to stretch this one out. We of the mind that we should get in, get her done, and get out. And we would love to him to act like a man and get here on the battlefield. If he needs to, I don't know what he's capable of. He's not capable of anything, is he? Except that one most powerful thing, influencing and manipulating men and women. Outside of that, he really can't do anything else except be big, red, and angry and hot all the times. With that, Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. But think about what I'm saying. This is a losing battle. And as I said at the onset, that one should think about what should happen then. You have destroyed the lives of many, many. What should happen if you're being fair? Ask yourself that. Be you the victim or the victimizer? However you process that statement of fact. If you're being honest, then something has to happen. Something must happen. This country can no longer sustain itself. This country's social fabric, its political fabric, and its foundational spiritual fabric have been ripped to shreds over consecutive generations. Ideas of who's wrong, who's right, and what is morality. So now imposition is upon you. See, think of it this way. And I mean, I got this from this statement this colloquialism from someone else. You can either you can accept God's love, or you can receive it by force. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I am Source. I am 7. We're 1.